leather fragrances. Masculine, manly goodness. That's what we're jumping in today, guys. Let's get it. What's good, YouTube? It's your guy, Darian, man. I'm the BowTie Fragrance Guy on this channel. We focus on fragrances primarily. But I think it's important to throw you guys some style, some grooming tips in there as well. I think you do yourself a great disservice if you walk out of the house smelling good, but you don't look your best. I don't know, it could just be just me, but that's my mentality. But if you're into that, hit subscribe, man. Make sure you enable notifications by hitting the bell icon as well. So anytime a new video gets uploaded on YouTube, hopefully at some point in time between now and the year of 2035, YouTube will notify you that I've actually uploaded a video. So hitting the notification bell, I think it does help. On today's video, guys, I want to be talking about 10 amazing leather fragrances in my collection. Now, leather isn't a note I've talked about a lot here on the channel, but I do have these times where I really want a nice masculine fragrance. And a lot of times, if it's not a fougere or a chypre, it's a fragrance that contains a note of leather. Leather is found in more fragrances that are traditionally marketed, I would say, towards men. Whereas you find like a note of tuberose, of course, you would find that marketed in fragrances more, 9 times out of 10 for women. So it's not to say that any woman couldn't wear a fragrance that has a huge amount of leather or is a leather-centric fragrance. But again, to me, leather is a very masculine note. So I have 10 amazing leather fragrances that I want to talk to you guys about. And all of them quite a few of them, represent such a different facet of leather and how it's used in fragrances. But I think you guys are going to really, really enjoy this. So 10 masculine, manly leather fragrances coming up. If you want to see what's on the list, you know how we rock. Keep it locked right here. Let's go. Yes, sir.
The BowTie Fragrance Guy.
All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked. Let's jump into it. Quick reminder, guys, purchase my ebook, The Gentleman's Blueprint, man, $9.99. Support the channel. You have a chance to win a 5ml decan of any fragrance in my collection. So make sure you click that link. It's only $9 and check out The Gentleman's Blueprint. Also, I try to link as many of these fragrances as I can to the video. If you click on products down there, in the corner of this video, you can find as many of these as I can find at a good price there already for you if you want to check these out. So my first fragrance on the list, you knew this one was coming. This is a more accessible from a price standpoint than some of the others on the list, but this is from the brand of Tom Ford. This is Ombré Leather. Ombré Leather. Of course, leather is in all of these fragrances, but leather, cardamom, oak moss, and patchouli. Now, he has Tuscan leather in his private collection. This is in the signature line, and it puts you in the mindset, obviously, of a Tuscan leather, but there are some very distinct differences. Primarily, this doesn't have that raspberry note that you get in Tuscan leather, but it is a very, very great leather fragrance, and of course, it's on the more accessible side because it's in the signature line, so you can get it at a pretty decent price. But I think signature slash Tom Ford signature line slash designer fragrances, this is one of the, if not the best leather fragrance on the market. Probably the best in my opinion. So check it out from Tom Ford. Again, this is Ombré Leather. All right, guys, the next fragrance I want to talk about comes from the brand of Xerjoff. This is Tommy Iommi's collaboration with Xerjoff, and this one is called Deified. Beautiful black bottle. Stuff is really good, man, if you like leather. Obviously, leather is a main note here. Saffron, cinnamon, and patchouli are some of the main notes. Now, there are certain notes that I think really help to make a leather type of accord. Obviously, you can't have real leather. But some of the notes that are used to really help make a leather type of accord, you'll find saffron a lot of times. You'll find birch wood as a birch wood a lot as a note. in fragrances that feature leather because they help to kind of make leather accords in fragrances. But this is really, really nice. I love that with that special little hint of the cinnamon in this particular fragrance. Really, really nice leather fragrance from Xerjoff. Performs like a monster as well. Really enjoy this one. So if you like leather, this is one I think you need to get your nose on, man. From the brand of Xerjoff, this is called Deified. All right, guys, the next fragrance on the list, this one has a little bit of a floral touch to it, so it really kind of cleans that leather up a little bit, but it's still a very nice presence of leather, really smooth. I like this one from the brand of Fragrance du Bois. This is called Milano. Beautiful leather fragrance. Obviously leather. There's a note of saffron again with that jasmine and a little sweetness of vanilla on a dry down. Again, this is probably on the list one of the more softer leather fragrances on the list, probably one of the more unisex leather fragrances on the list. But again, nonetheless, and I love their sprayers, by the way. Just look at that mist, kind of like sprays out like Rojas. Man, gorgeous leather fragrance. Gorgeous leather fragrance. Little hint of spices in here as well with the jasmine. This is beautiful, man. If you love leather, one you have to smell. Probably the most unisex on the list, but this is from Fragrance du Bois. This is Milano. All right, guys, the next fragrance comes from the brand of Royal Crown, and this one is called Upper Class. Upper Class. This is their leather fragrance, kind of their take on Tuscan leather, if you ask me. Raspberry leather, iris, and oak moss. I think that iris is really kind of what makes this not like a complete one-to-one of like a Tuscan leather, because the iris, I love that powdery element that it brings to that Tuscan leather kind of scent DNA. But this thing smells really, really, really good. Definitely going to put you again in the mindset of a Tuscan leather, but again, more of a bit of a powdery scent profile. But this is really good if you love leather from the brand of Royal Crown. Check out Upper Class. Now this next fragrance is the most masculine and the darkest leather fragrance, no pun intended, on this list, or maybe pun intended, man. But this stuff is really, really dark, and I have to be in the mood to wear this one, but when I do, it just screams bad boy. This is from the brand of Killian, and this one is called Dark Lord. Dark Lord. Leather, vetiver, birch, and rum. This is a very smoky, there may be castoreum in here as well, because it has that kind of petrol kind of thing that castoreum normally brings to fragrances. I think it may be, if I'm not mistaken, but this is a very, you know, kind of petrol, leathery, dark, earthy kind of fragrance. Definitely not going to be for everybody, but for those of you that like really dark, almost gothic, I would call it, like fragrances, this is probably something that you would enjoy. But again, there are times when I have this kind of this mood where I want to throw something like this on because it's so different, so unique. But again, if you're looking for something a really dark, earthy kind of leather fragrance, this is one you might enjoy from the brand of Killian, Dark Lord. All right, guys, next up, this is a fragrance that you probably haven't heard much about. It is definitely an acquired taste, but it's so creative, and it's honestly one of my favorite leather fragrances on this entire list. It is from the brand of Amouage, and this is called Myths Man. Man, this stuff is fan-flippin' tastic. This is leather, chrysanthemum, orris, and rose. And that is the thing about this fragrance that I think is throws so many people off. Chrysanthemum is not a note that is used a lot, especially in men's fragrances. They don't even use it that much in women's fragrances. And it's a nice dose of chrysanthemum in the opening of this. And chrysanthemum is a floral note that kind of has, the best way I can describe it, this kind of old lady smell to it. Now, it doesn't last that long, but it's very unique. And in this crazy, unique, creative Amouage kind of way, it just works with the other notes in this fragrance. The orris root is earthy with a slightly bit of a powdery essence to it. You get a lot of leather in here, of course, and that's why it's on the list. And they have this kind of ashy, tobacco-y, smoky kind of thing going with it as well. Very creative fragrance. I absolutely love this stuff. It develops a lot on the skin as different phases. It's a great Amouage type fragrance. I love this fragrance. One of my favorites on the list, honestly, from Amouage, this is Myths Man. All right, guys, the next up, I'm pretty sure a lot of you have heard about this one. Won't spend as much time on it, but it's a fragrance from the brand of Parfums de Marly. This is Godolphin. Definitely their take on a Tuscan leather DNA. You have leather, there's saffron again with raspberry, and this one has some vetiver. Definitely, again, this one is very close to Tuscan leather. So definitely check it out. You know, at the vetiver in here, does it give it more of a little bit of earthy take when it dries down? That may give it a little bit of a differentiating factor from Tuscan leather, but it smells very close to that. But it's a really, really nice leather fragrance from Parfums de Marly. Again, check this one out, Godolphin. All right, guys, this next fragrance is one that comes from the brand of Argos. And this one is called Bacio Immortale. Bacio Immortale. What you get with this one is raspberry, leather, birch, and oud. So again, there's the birch in here. I love the raspberry up top. Another one, quite a few of these kind of hint at a Tom Ford Tuscan leather kind of DNA. But it is a lot different, especially with that addition of the smoking. The birch gives a more smoky, kind of leathery smell to it. And of course, there's a little hint of oud in here on the dry down as well. But it's very, very classy, very, again, masculine, manly leather fragrance. If you're looking for one, this is one that you want to look at from the brand of Argos. This is their leather fragrance, and it's really well done. This is Bacio Immortale. All right, guys, and next up on the list, another fragrance I don't hear anybody talk about from Roja Parfums. This one is called Great Britain. Great Britain. This stuff is absolutely fantastic, man. Leather, violet, you have jasmine, oak moss, and cedar wood. And really what this smells like, this is done in such a Roja Parfums kind of way. It's really a chypre that is masquerading as a leather fragrance. So it smells, there's hints of this that kind of reminds me, honestly, of Diaghilev and some of the other amazing chypres that Roja Parfums has done. So you get a lot of that. You get a lot of the citruses up top with the floral heart. And then, of course, you get this very unique accord of leather in here that is different from like a Diaghilev. But this thing is absolutely fantastic, man. Now, this is a super expensive fragrance. I think it retails for about $1,600 but get a sample of it. If you like leather, you'll really love this one because it has this, like I said, the makeup of a chypre fragrance with leather in the base here. This is good. Check it out, man. Get a sample. It's expensive, just get a sample. This one is called Great Britain. And last but not least, I saved it for last because obviously this is the one that a lot of the other fragrances, in my opinion, kind of mimicked, if you will, from Tom Ford, the granddaddy of them all to me, Tuscan leather. Tuscan leather, raspberry, leather, oberlin, and suede. And like I said, to me, this is kind of sort of where a lot of these fragrances got their DNA from, which is Tuscan leather. The originator of it to me with the leather raspberry combination. It's a suede leather, so it's warm. This stuff is just so good, man. This is, to me, still is the pinnacle of leather. If you really like leather fragrances, and purely leather, this is the best. It's the most kind of wearable. It kind of gives you that combination of wearability, creativity without being too dark and like a dark lord. But this is it, man, from the brand of Tom Ford, the originator, Tuscan leather. But that's all, guys. Now that's all I have for you today, man. That's my time. I hope you enjoyed this video today as I gave you some 10 masculine, manly, good leather fragrances. What are some other leather fragrances out there on the market that I may have missed in the list, man? I would love to hear from you guys down in the comment section. As always, I sincerely appreciate your time and your attention to these videos. You don't have to watch, but you do, and I sincerely appreciate that. Now, don't forget to take a few moments to like, comment, and subscribe. Please, please, please make sure you're sharing these videos out to some other folks that you think could use the information or find it entertaining. Because I'm your guy, Darren. I'm the BowTie fragrance guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell fantastic. So until next time, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.